Back at it, live and direct. This is something that I'm thankful because you know this is not just a Coastal Chronicles New York episode. This is also brought to you by Dren Starr, aka the ambassador of Duce.
Yes, sir.
This is what we do. You understand what I'm saying? I put the bat signal out. He caught it, and this has been in the making for a minute. Listen, when I tell people whatever you throw out in the universe, it comes back. This is a perfect example of that. The gentleman that I'm interviewing today is somebody that I've been watching for a long time. And I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of people have to understand an icon when they see one, a cultural icon when they see one. You understand what I'm saying? But with that, let me start my little monologue and all that. So my guest hails from France by the way of Morocco. And unless you've been living under a rock, he needs no introduction. But just in case you don't know who the fashion designer legend, emphasis on legend is his iconic designs. You know, I'm going to need you to sit back, roll something up. If you don't roll something up and you need to toss something up, preferably be that Duce, you know. Just sit back because we about to take you on a little history of this legend that sits before me. He goes by the name of Jeff Hamilton. And sir, I appreciate you. I'm humbled. And, you know, we about to turn it up. Coastal Chronicles, NYC, Jeff Hamilton in the building, ladies and gentlemen. So with that being said, sir, how you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
So
Glad to be here.
I want to say something real quick before I get into what I want to know. So we got a bag with your logo right behind you. So I'm looking at the Jake Paul fight this week, right? And I'm sitting here, and you know, I follow you on IG, and I see this jacket that you made for him. But besides the jacket, I see how you presented it to him with the bag that's behind you, and I'm sitting here, and I'm like, all right, what is he giving him? Like, you know, because the bag is a throw off. It's not really something for people that buy suits and things of that nature. You know, the suit bag that you get, you already know how it looks like when you get it, then you fold it. So I'm like, all right, what is he giving him?
This is official Celsius.
Yeah, it's official gear here.
Official Jake Paul customized. This is like
It's pretty
all
badass.
Because the bag is a throw off. It's not really something for people that buy suits and things of that nature. You know, the suit bag that you get, you already know how it looks like when you get it, then you fold it. So I'm like, all right, what is he giving him? And when he opened that thing up and it spread out, I said, oh my God. And I gotta say to myself, because not only are you a fashion design and an icon in the fashion design, like how does it interpret in your brain to say, yo, you know what? I'm not gonna do this as normally as somebody else would do, but I'm gonna make it in the form of a bag with my logo. Then once you open it up, there's the jacket. Like how does that process go?
You know, I often said, you know, like we storytellers. That's what we are. You know, whether you're a designer, whether you're an artist, whether you're a musician, and I always say to myself, and I say, you know, you don't buy a Jeff Hamilton jacket because you're cold. You know, like again, and I often repeat myself when I'm saying, like, you don't buy a Rolex because you want to know what time it is. So it's kind of, I feel like when somebody buys one of my pieces, you know, I want them to get an experience, and it's just like I want them to get a piece of me, of my DNA, of how I feel when I design it and when I present it. So I try to just go out and with all the bells and whistles I can do it. So it's just not simply the jacket. The jacket that I make, you know, obviously I try to capture as much as I can within, you know, I'd like to think of myself as an artist more than a designer, where the jacket is more my canvas, so where I just go out and create it. And then to make sure I feel in the tradition of being an artist, I sign every single piece of my jacket. This way, you know, if somebody wants to knock me off, you know, they can knock off all the whatever they want to do, but they cannot knock off my signatures. So what I do is I sign it, and then I package it in a certain way. I package it when you get it, you really feel like you're getting something special. Some long time ago, and I realized 30 years ago, somebody came to me. They used to come to me in the street, and they used to say, I own 3 of your pieces, 2 of your pieces, 10 of your pieces. I say, well, those are jackets. Why don't you tell me I own 3 of your jackets? So they basically refer to me of my product as kind of like you refer to pieces when you're talking about pieces of art.
Art.
And I kind of really caught on to that, where I felt like I pride myself in just knowing that people realize how much love and passion I put into the product. And it's just really, it doesn't sound very business-like, but it's not about the money for me. For me at this stage, I really want to make sure it's an impact. When you get something that you feel it's special to you, that you pride. I mean, like even my brother here, Dren, when he got his jacket, I'm sure he had plenty of room in his suitcases when he travels, but he carries a bag at the airport, and he's carrying his bag, and he carries the bag proudly. And that's kind of where the love that he has for that, that's the love I get back in return. So to that extent, I just went out, and then to certain of the projects, I even go out and instead of doing the actual computer CAD that we do before I design, I basically the computer CAD, and I kind of redraw the computer CAD into an actual art piece where I just do the watercolors and sign it and put my seal on it. It's all the way about getting as many experiences that you can to make sure that when you put your jacket on, it's not like you covering yourself with a jacket. You have a full experience because you know what it means and all the process that went through it. And when you get my art piece, you see here, I put the little arrow by hand. I say, here, put leather here, put this here, put the buttons here, just create this one here. On that one, and I put the limited edition plaque on the inside of the jacket where I basically sometimes tell the story of why I'm doing that jacket. This is a limited edition jacket designed by Jeff Hamilton in collaboration with Supreme, or in collaboration with Billionaires Boys Club, or to commemorate such and such, And this is a jacket I designed, commissioned by Celsius to commemorate Jake's ball fight, and just put the date of the event. So at least it's kind of I try to capture a moment in time and freeze a moment in time, but the jacket is my vessel for me just to go out and portray it.
So who put the call out for that? Was it Jake? Was it his people's?
It was not. No, it was actually Celsius, the drink Celsius. They came to me. I met them actually in Paris. I went to the Citizens Award of concert, with Lenny Kravitz and the grandson of Nelson Mandela, and it was crazy, beautiful concert right at the Eiffel Tower with Billie Eilish and Jake Harlow and her, and then we just kind of hit it off with the head guy of Celsius. Say, we're doing a big project with Jake Paul. Would love to create a jacket just to present to him, and of course Jake Paul is, I think it's a great guy. I don't know him very well, but I just watched his documentary on Netflix, and he was just he's an awesome guy because, he's just, we all love to hate him because we feel we don't know where he is. The guy is a solid guy who's just basically out hustling like all of us, and he's appreciative of the place in time that he's in, and he's earning every single thing that he does, and whatever he's doing it the right way. He's deserving it. And I just saw it and my judgment of him was the way he treated the sponsors, the way he carried the branding and promoting it and carrying it with pride and being well composed and putting it together. I have tremendous respect because he has that work ethic that he is obviously, he's capitalizing on his fame, but also he's kind of earning it. It's just not like a fly-by-night. The guy is putting the hours and the effort just to be a fighter. I just don't know how we'd fare against some fighters from the old days, like a Tyson in his prime or Ali. I personally, I don't think he would. But the way he's packaging himself, and again, some of the the MMA, UFC fighters. I mean, I think it's just putting up a great show. And if you see the documentary, even Mike Tyson, who's the greatest of all time, as far as I'm concerned, uh, is just and a really good friend of mine. He says single-handedly, Jake is bringing back boxing into the mix, where it's exciting to see some of the fights, because it's entertaining and it's a good show.
At the end of the day, I give Jake Paul respect because his business acumen is stellar. Not only that, like you said, he's putting on a show. Like prior to him, women boxing wasn't even really getting any type of attention or anything like that. And he single-handedly, every time he fights, he has Amanda Serrano there, and she's been a veteran doing this for years and
I
got
love
no
that,
respect.
that he's supporting everything, that he's doing the thing, and again, I'm simply a fan. I'm not like really that close to him or anything, but he's, I can, myself being so much like, at my age, I mean, obviously I've been doing it for a long time, but one thing I pride myself into is my work ethic, and I can see when I see somebody that's just so driven and motivated and just not taking anything for granted. Like those are the things that for me, there's few things that I can kind of resent. I resent entitlement, and I really appreciate appreciation. Like what I'd like to say God, but whatever the God or the universe gives you, just don't never take it for granted, because it's just it can be gone tomorrow. Like I often said, if you take the biggest oak tree that you can think of, you can chop it up and make millions of little matches, and with one match, you can burn out the whole tree. So you never know where you could be on top of the mountain, and one bad wind, you can fall off the mountain. So it's just I appreciate every moment that you live in the moment, and be the best you can be, and build a life with integrity and love and passion, and surround yourself with good people.
Amen to that. Amen to that. So I want to start by talking about your childhood and things of that nature. So like I stated before, you're from France by way of Morocco. So give me back a backstory of
I,
your
I really
childhood.
was born in Morocco. I was really by way of France. I'm more French and Moroccan. I'm very proud of knowing the fact that I'm Jewish, born in Morocco, but I left Morocco when I was a 10 years old kid, and I grew up in France. So I consider myself French, but I'm very proud of my heritage of having been born in Africa and being an official African American, even though I'm white. But no, and I love my heritage, every heritage, and that I have, and I enjoy my years in France and my growing up and my studying in France, and obviously I love being in America, and this is my home. I'm proud to be an American, and I'm proud to be able to do the things, to wake up every morning and to do the things that I love, and that God gave me the gift of being passionate about finding my little corner where I can do the things that I do, excel at the things that I do, and being passionate on my own about doing the things that I do.
And your parents, what were they? What was
They
their
were,
occupation?
both of them, they were bookkeepers, accountants, which was my dream at the time. I wanted to become a CPA. That was my biggest dream in my life, So I loved. I mean, I was kind of like I was a good student in school, and I love numbers, and I love math, and I love physics, and I love stuff, but also I love money. I mean, I care. I mean, I was because my parents being so humble and we were very modest. When I got married for the first time and I was 19, kind of like I had the taste that I really want to become successful. I mean, I wanted to break the mold and I love all the good stuff. I mean, I saw America and I look at that, just for me was a dream. And so I was really kind of like, for a big part of my life, I was driven just by money. I mean, I didn't have the same mental state I'm in at my age right now, where everything was like, I was I felt like I found my groove where it was as far as a designer, but I really was like more, you know, doing things for the money. When I dealt with all the celebrities, like how much money am I going to make of this and that? At this stage of my life, it has gone. It's sure I'm running a business. I mean, it's not like I'm not saying I don't care about money. That would be bullshitting you. But I care about, you know, at this stage of my life, if my bills are paid, if I can support my family and be around my friends. I love, obviously, my whole life I've lived like a billionaire, so I love the good stuff. I love the good cars, the good life, the good restaurant, the good thing. But it's at the end of the day, if my bills are paid and I can wake up every morning and do the things that I love, and I'm a happy man. I work 7 days a week. But do you call that work, or you call that living a life of blessings?
Yeah, that's a fact. Because not too many people that I know are actually doing what they want to do in life.
Yeah.
They're actually doing the opposite. But with that being said, so in your teenage years, you automatically knew that this is when you said to yourself, "I want to go to America." It's because you knew you was gonna get into fashion, or you just had a desire just to come to America because you were driven that whatever is it gonna be, whether it be me having a CPA in mathematics and things of that nature, this is what's gonna happen as soon as I come to America. Because you came to America at 23, you already had a family or two with only $6,000 in your pocket. So, how did all of this transpire, or when did fashion become a forefront in your brain to say, you know what, this is what I'm finna do?
When truth be told, I didn't like to live in France. I mean, I love France today as an American. I love to go to Paris. I love to be there an American. And then no diss to French people or to, even to my Jewish community, I just felt like I was trapped. I was closed. I mean, everybody wanted to control you. The family not my parents, but my in-laws want to control me. They didn't want me to be, and I was overly ambitious. I would just want to eat the world. I wanted to be successful. I wanted to just do big things for my kids and for myself. I mean, I really was, I was kind of a nerd growing up. I mean, it's not like I'm Mr. Cool or whatever, but I was a nerd. I'm not saying I'm going to be a nerd now, but I was very shy and I really dreamt of America since I was a kid. I changed my name when I was. I didn't change my name. I mean, still on some of my papers, my name is still Joseph. But I really wanted to be called Jeff since I was 10 years old because I felt like it was an American name. I mean, I was in my bedroom and I had posters of Jerry West and Will Chamberlain and Lou Alcindor, and I share a room like smaller than a studio with half the room of the studio with my brother, and I lived there till I was 19 when I got married. So it's not like, and I lived in any kind of comfort. I mean, if I went to a restaurant twice a year, it was it was a big deal for me, and but I always was ambitious, always looked above my head to be, I always loved good things. I mean, I looked at things and I just wanted to do things. So I just basically took the jump and I pissed off everybody in my family and my in-laws' family at the time. And I took my 2 kids. I had a 2-year-old son and a 6-year-old daughter, and I was married. And I just came to America with $6,000 without barely speaking English. Didn't have a green card. I just basically came in and I crashed the country. So I went originally to New York. I loved New York because I felt the energy, I felt everything there. And I started working in New York, and I remember walking in New York for on Fifth Avenue for like a mile, 2 miles, and I didn't see for almost like a half hour, 45 minutes, an hour, I don't know. I didn't see one single kid. And I said, there's no way that, I'm not going to curse, but but there's no effing way I'm going to see my kids growing up here. I just don't like it, I mean, I love the vibe, I love everything. I just kind of see my kids living those buildings and those crowds and stuff like that. So I went back to LA, to Paris. And a week later, I said, let me just go to Los Angeles. I don't care if I do much less, as long as even if I make less money, if I go there, maybe have a quality of life. And I walked in Los Angeles and I loved it. I couldn't find exactly what it was. I felt, like 1979, I felt like everything was like, I didn't know where it was. Everything was all spread out. I mean, I went to some areas, it was like San Monica Boulevard was all like YMCA and village people kind of people. I mean, I said, that's not really what I want my kids. I mean, I don't have any problem with it really, but at the time, I just like, and then I said, but, regardless, I love the weather. I love, you feel like it's a little bit easier. I don't care. I'm going to take the jump and move to Los Angeles.